So we got our rudder frame back, and now we're going to start gluing on the cheeks and then fiberglassing before we head up to Scotland. Mo's helping me mark exactly where the blade should end. So it seems to be a little bit longer than the old one, which just means we'll end up with a Delron washer between the rudder clamp and the top bearing. Other than that, it looks very nice. All the tabs line up, and we have a new Woodruff key. Any thoughts, Mo?
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, that's the old one there. Would have probably been fine for 14 more years. Very nice. It's all 316 stainless. I'm in my friend Ian's workshop. He's kindly let me glass the rudder here. So at the moment I'm drilling for the stock, and he had the idea of scoring down the centre line of the stock on the table saw and then clamping the two halves together and drilling down with a spade bit welded onto a long bar. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and so far it seems to be following it quite nicely. I've also shaped the trailing edge a bit more and cut out for the lower, what do you call it, pintle I suppose. That's it. There are all my fiberglass supplies. 600 gram biaxial cloth, epoxy resin. I'm going to use the wet system resin for the gluing up the core, and then this laminating resin for the fiberglassing. It's all Lloyd's approved. And then I'll use some polyurethane sealant where the stock enters and exits. That's it. It's absolutely wonderful having a workshop like this with machines, the bandsaw, table saw. Just makes all the difference. So boring for the stock went really well. It followed the scoring from the table saw perfectly. So I've just marked up where I'm gonna use the router to make space for the tabs. Just marking up here on the other cheek, and I've positioned it so that the step is going to be just outside of the fiberglass, so that's going to be the bearing surface down here rather than it riding on the fiberglass. So I washed the bit of the stock that's going to be glued in with acetone. Then I ground the surface with a rough flappy disc to give a mechanical bond to the epoxy and the polyurethane that I'm going to pour in here. So this is electrical tape that I've wound around, and that's going to get pulled out once it's all glued together and glassed up. And then I will gun in the polyurethane sealant, and that should hopefully stop any future waterlogging problems. That's the best I could come up with anyway. Nearly ready. Starting to look like a rudder now. It all goes together. Just a bit more preparation and then I can start gluing it up. It's exciting. And that's it all glued up.